Right, in this session what we're going to do now is we're going to tackle the eyes. All I want to do with the eyes in this example is just to brighten them a bit, brighten the whites of the eyes. Again, this is something that if it's done incorrectly, as soon as you see it in a magazine or you see it on a picture on a web or multimedia product, you just know it's unnatural. So the important thing for me again is to do it natural. The way I do everything natural is I use the image as a protection mask. This is fundamentally exactly the same as what we did with the lips, but there's different considerations when it comes to using either the red, green or blue channel. So let me just go through that with you. First thing we're going to do again, we're just going to go into our layer groups, make a group, call that eyes. And now I'm going to go to the background again because I want to look at the channels with all of the other layers imposed on them. Okay, so it's a collective of all my retouching. Now we'll zoom up the eyes here so we can see what we're doing. Let's just look at one of the eyes. Right, if I go to the red channel and I want to use this as a mask that's going to mask out a curve adjustment, I need it to be used as a positive because obviously then the maximum point of effect will be in the white areas here. All of the channels are actually white, obviously, because the eyes are white, but each of the channels are very, very different in the detail of the iris. So it's in this area here, in the iris, where I have to decide, do I want my correction that whitens the eye? Do I want it to whiten the iris too? So I can go into red, green and blue. Now blue here creates a really good step difference between the eye and the skin tone, which means that when I'm doing the final application of this, I don't have to be accurate to the eye. I can actually overstep the eye area, and this will be masking out, so I can't affect this area here. But this isn't going to allow me to open up the detail or the quality of the eye at all in there. The red is not creating a difference between there and there at all, so that's no good to me really. I very rarely would ever use the red. The green in this case, however, is really good because the green has got quite open detail in the iris here, but also very open here, and quite a good difference between those two. Now we could, if we wanted to, go into calculations at this point and we could just try and see what it looks like if I say overlay, and that's quite nice. But by using overlay, all the detail in the iris is over 50%, so it's actually compressed it all. It isn't using compression as we would know by moving a curve, but it's actually darkened all the iris, and that's not what I want to do in this case. The job I do tomorrow, I may want to do that, so I may overlay it. So I'm going to cancel that. I'm not going to bother at this time. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the green channel as it is, as a mask. So I'm just going to go Apple 0 or Control 0 on a PC and put the image back where we want. So on the green channel here, and this is quite important, if you just hold down the Apple key or the Control key and place the cursor over the green channel, you get a little selection box. That means that if I click on it, it now loads the green channel as a selection. So it's ready to use as it is. All I'm going to do is go into RGB to display the image, go up to my eyes group, and now just choose my curves. And again, what I always do, it's kind of standard way of working, I put an enormous amount of retouch in. This only helps me while I'm applying it, then I can fade it back and then balance it. So you can see now that this massive reduction through the blue channel has made the eyes, but everything else white. But same again, like all the other things we've done, I just select the group, hold down the Alt key, and I click on it to put the second alpha channel on the group. Now what we can do is zoom up here, go to my brush again, choose a 50% strength brush, and now when I brush, you can just see the eyes brightening, but they're in proportion. So it's creating a nice curved feel to the eye. They're not flat white, they're curved. So the highlight areas of the eyes are moving more than the shadows. So it's just creating dimension, and it's creating a really natural looking effect. So if we put this in context now, I can now just turn it off, turn it on. I've got more brightness coming through in the iris of the eye, seeing more colour. I can now double click on here, put this back at 50-50, go back to my output, and then as a designer or the creative I can sit here and say, now how white do I actually want them to be? And I can now just say that's 10%. For now I'm going to leave it at 20. To be honest, I think I'm actually going to bring it back 5 units without holding down the shift key and make a 15% adjustment. So I can now close it down turn it off, turn it on, and I'm really happy with that again. So that's how I do eyes.